Hi everyone. I know it's been a while. Again, I'm sorry. So I realized that with college and everything, I am struggling to juggle all of this at the moment and get content out to you guys because it's been 6 months since I posted the last video. So here's my plan. I for fun, I watch classic soap operas from like a long time ago. Usually, for those of you who also do it, 80s and 90s stuff. And so I was thinking I'd do that with you guys. I would watch an episode, take some notes, and do a video about it. I see a lot of people doing that with the new episodes that are airing now. And I just thought some of you might be very interested in seeing my thoughts on older episodes. So my plan is to do a week or two at a time where I watch a week of a show, take notes, and then do a video. And watch a week of a show, take notes, and do a video. And so in preparation of that, I'm going to do this video is like a previously on. Okay, right now I'm watching General Hospital, and I am like March of 1993. Sorry, April. I'm looking at my TV. April of 1993. And so my plan is to do like a previously on recap for all of you because I've been watching this for a while. I started watching it in 87 and I've been watching it ever since. It's been a couple years now. Obviously in Showtime it's been 6 years, but when you watch several episodes a day, that's, takes less time when you're not waiting for the next day for it to be live. So we probably watched a solid 6 years in two. My mom watches with me, which is, it's fun bonding time. So my plan here, I have written some notes that are currently on the iPad that I'm filming on, so that wasn't very smart of me. But I know most of what I was going to say anyway, so I'm just going to wing this. General Hospital 1993. There were a lot of things that happened. For those of you that maybe would have watched it at the time or are familiar enough to know of the characters of the time, this is going to be a lot easier because you'll know who I'm speaking of. For those of you who might be new and are just, for some reason looking into what soap used to be like, here's your perfect place. I'm going to sidetrack myself here. Yes, there is a Christmas tree up. Yes, I am filming this in April of 2025. And my tree is still up. Usually, I try to keep my tree up for most of the year just because I enjoy it. And I don't know, I love having a Christmas tree up. This year, because I'm filming, I may take it down. I don't know yet. So just stay posted. So I'd like to start with saying Felicia. If you're familiar with General Hospital, it used to be Mary DeFrisco. Felicia has since come back from Texas, divorced Frisco, and she had amnesia, okay? And she didn't understand why she had amnesia, but she couldn't remember anyone, except for the fact that her baby girl, who was 2 at the time, was her daughter. Didn't know anything about her or anything, but knew she was her daughter. So for several months, everyone was trying to help her regain her memory because, well, for obvious reasons. And she started seeing this guy named Ryan. And Ryan was a pediatrician and a very, very likable guy. And she just really thought she found someone that she could care about. It wasn't serious to the point of like, oh, I love you, but they had a budding relationship. And so he invited her up to a cabin in the woods, which set of horror movie if you ask me. A cabin in the woods for a romantic weekend. and she had to be back the following week for her 2-year-old daughter's birthday. She was turning 3, I believe. I believe she was already 2 turning 3. I'm not sure if she was 1 turning 2, but I think she was 2 turning 3. Not that that matters. And so Ryan and her were up at this cabin, and they were having an intimate moment, and she gets her memories back all at once. She remembers all of her friends and who her family is and everything. She remembers everything. And at the same time of remembering the rest of her life, she also remembers that she saw Ryan commit a murder, that he had murdered his wife in front of her. And then he saw her, that she had just come in the door, and she ran. And he'd been following her ever since. So that's why when he realized that she had amnesia, he just pretended to be this really nice guy. He'd been obsessed with her for a while because they had been together for a short time in Texas while he was under an assumed name. So now at this cabin, she remembers who he is, and she spends a solid week trying to convince him to let her go home. What happened was, for a while they tiptoed around each other. She was trying not to let him know that she remembered, and he was trying to make sure that she didn't remember. But basically, eventually, he realized that she remembered. So he locks her in her bedroom and takes I'm not a car person, I'm sorry, something out of the car that they drove up there. And so that would mean that he could lie to her and say that they were stranded and couldn't get off the mountain because they were on a mountain. So then the next thing he did was say that he was going to walk down, get service, get someone to come up and fix the Jeep, all this stuff. Well, he never did that. And she tried to escape, and he came back in perfect time to, stop her from escaping. By the end of this, anyway, he had her wear this wedding dress that he had bought her years ago, or not years ago, but I guess months ago, when he was obsessed with her the first time. And he wanted to marry her, and he wanted to marry her that night. With no one there to officiate, he just wanted it to be a wedding to them, or whatever. So she puts on this dress, and because she was afraid he was going to kill her. So she puts on the dress, and she eventually is able to escape. He leaves to go find her, and then she ends up circling back and going back in the cabin because it's in the middle of a snowstorm and she would have frozen to death in just a wedding dress. So she goes back into the cabin. There's an altercation. He tries to kill her, and she stabs him, several times. And then Mac, who she had been real close friends with, who had been, the leading person trying to help her get her memory back, shows up at the cabin. I think I had skipped telling the fact that she had gotten to the phone that he had disconnected, was able to reconnect it for a moment and call Mac, just to warn Mac to come, but he couldn't understand her because the connection was bad, so he just went anyway, in the middle of a snowstorm. Can you see where this is going? The romance is not Felicia and... I want to say Kevin. It's not Kevin. It's Ryan. Kevin comes in later. It's Felicia and Mac. So Felicia shows up, Mac shows up, and right as she's stabbing him several times with the knife. So they get back to Port Charles, and everyone believes that, she had lost her mind, and Ryan was telling the truth, and that she hurt him, but it wasn't that they thought that she was capable of it. They just thought that she had lost her mind and thought he was somebody else, and, So her sanity was in question. So then she spent some time in a mental institution, court mandated, because she is, convicted for stabbing him. It was attempted murder in the court's eyes. And they start making her try to go crazy. Like, the staff makes her think that she's lost her mind, and there's this attendant guy who sexually assaults the women in there. So he starts going after her, and she has to defend herself, and once again, similar things. So then Mac breaks her out of the mental institution, and currently they are on the run from the law. So you're caught up to that storyline there. The next storyline I'd like to talk about, which obviously that storyline will pick up when we start watching, like, the weekly. I'll do a video similar to this one in more detail, where I talk about each episode and what happens in them and how it all happens. And so you'll basically be hearing these stories in real time. For those of you who can't maybe afford to buy the episodes, you can, like, sit down and chill out and have a coffee with me. I'm thinking of naming the series Soaps and Seven Brew, because it's a coffee shop. It's called Seven Brew, and it's, like, my favorite thing around. And I have one, like, at least once a week, if not more. Lately, I've been doing them daily. That's probably not a good thing. It's a weakness. But, sorry, my window was open and there was a sound and it scared me. I'm leaving that in, by the way. Most of these videos are going to be uncut because, simply, 2 reasons. If I try to cut them with the way that I talk, I'm going to cut something out, something important out. Not that I'm not an experienced editor, because I am, but there's just, for those of you who don't know, I run a soap shop, and so I sell edits, and I do, like, character storyline edits. Like, for example, right now I'm working on John and Natalie for 2004, that's One Life to Live. That's a couple from One Life to Live, as we speak. It's on my computer right here. I'm still trying to figure out what angle to do the camera thing, but for right now, this is just gonna have to do. I want to, the more I work on doing these videos, the better they will get, I promise you. Right now, I'm just looking for something that I can do for fun with all of you guys that maybe you'll be interested in and stick with me, that I can start posting more regularly and have some fun with it. So instead of, I'm still planning on doing the character edits that I spoke about, but for right now, with the way my schedule is, I feel like it would be, 1, more fun, and 2, I'd be able to post a lot more regularly if we do it this way. And I think a lot of you will have fun with it, because it'll be like a blast from the past, hopefully. If someone doesn't like it, or, all you guys just have to let me know if you like it or not. I mean, I'll be able to tell from, like, engagement in the videos and stuff, but this is my plan for now, and I'll adjust it as we go. It's not a set in stone thing. Okay, so going back to the storylines. So the next storyline I need to talk about is Bill Eckert. Bill Eckert is the lookalike cousin of Luke Spencer. Basically, he's Luke 2.0, and the only reason Luke's not in it is because Laura didn't want to be in it at the time, and they are, because it's April of 93, I'm sorry, they will be coming back in October of 93, so if you guys are a Luke and Laura fan, like I am, I'm a lot more of one than I used to be, they'll be coming back, which I'm super excited for that. But Bill is the lookalike cousin of Luke Spencer, and Bill is currently in a relationship with Holly Sutton, which, if you know anything about Luke, you know that he was in a relationship with Holly Sutton, back in 83, before Laura came back from the dead. We're talking about soaps. Do you expect anything else? So Luke and Holly are... Wow, I called him Luke. Bill and Holly are together right now, and they are in search of a painting that Bill had tracked down and purchased that was worth like millions of dollars. And there's this guy named Halifax that is responsible for stealing the painting. And basically, Luke's just trying to get it back, and Halifax is blackmailing, and he's in love with the same woman that Bill used to be in love with 12 years ago. She was presumed dead. It turns out she's not dead. And that's coming in between Holly and Bill. I almost said Luke again. And so, that's basically where that is. So right now, in April of 1993, particularly, I'm watching the 16th now, but the first episode that I'd like to start doing the daily ones with is the 19th, because it's a new week. So this is a Friday, and then the 19th would have been that Monday. So Bill's trying to get Holly back because she basically broke up with him because he had lied about his relationship with Victoria, who had been presumed dead. And then he finds out that she's still alive, and I don't believe he's told her yet. So that should be interesting when she finds that out, because she just decided to forgive him for the rest of it. So if he decides to tell her, it'll be interesting to see how she reacts. So I'll leave that there, because we'll pick that up in the next. Okay, so the next one is, if you know the Quartermaine family, Tracy Quartermaine was married to Paul. And Paul was in love with Jenny Eckert, which is Bill's sister. And Jenny Eckert is married to Ned, who is Tracy's son. So, mother and son, married people, and their spouses are in love with each other. It's really messed up. And so there was a lot of blackmailing going on and a lot of different things, and the way it's ended up at this point is that Tracy and Paul have divorced. And Ned and Jenny have divorced. But Tracy and Paul have a baby. And Paul is trying to get visitation for Dylan because Tracy is currently not allowing him to see the baby in revenge of something that he didn't even do. Because she believes that he cheated on her with Jenny and he didn't. So, she's taking all these actions like a fake protection order, saying that he's violent and he's gonna hurt them when he's not a violent person. And Ned, which is Tracy's son, like mother, like son, blackmailed Jenny and a senator that she had slept with when she was 16, which, if you ask me, they didn't sleep together. She was raped. Because a 30-something-year-old man can't rape us, can't have a consensual relationship with a 16-year-old girl. But that's just me. Regardless of my opinion, though, Ned still hates her for lying because when they got married, she lied and said she was a virgin. And so, he's mad at her about that. And instead of understanding that she had been raped, because that's the only case in which that particular situation could have happened, he divorced her overnight and started sleeping with this woman named Julia, who I really like. Julia, she used to date Bill and they were cute and whatever. But I don't currently like her because she's making all of these excuses for Ned. And it's like, he's the bastard that, is dick. He's a dick. Like, are we pretending that he's not? Anyway, as you can see, you're gonna get my opinions mixed in with all of this because it wouldn't be fun otherwise, right? I mean, that's the whole point. So, yeah, there's that. I'm trying to think if there's... Oh, Scott and Dominique. So, let me just wrap this one up real quick. So as we're standing right now, Paul and Jenny are currently dating. Ned is seeing Julia, And Tracy is alone and sad and doesn't know what to do. Because regardless of how Paul felt about her, she genuinely loved him. So, yeah. This is just a big, long previously on. Now, for fun, I was thinking about when I do the videos, I'd be like, previously on General Hospital, or previously on Soaps and Seven Brew, and have fun with that. And that's really my goal, and is to have fun with this. So, if you like a little fangirl soap thing, rambling on about soaps all day, that you're in the right place. Because this is going to be a blast, and I hope some of you enjoy it. The last storyline I think really needs to be preluded to is Scott Baldwin and Dominique Taub. They are now married, so she's Dominique Baldwin. She had a really bad childhood. Her father married her off to Leopold Taub, who abused her their whole marriage, and it was a whole thing. She got out of that, was dating Mac, who's now with Felicia, for a while. And now, one night, Scott and Dominique were in Vegas on a business trip. Both got drunk and accidentally got married. They were friends, but they were never romantically involved. After they got married, they both realized that they loved each other. So they stayed married and had a relationship. And then she finds out she has terminal cancer. It all happened very quickly. Within, I think it was 4 months, she went from 6 months. She went from finding out she was sick, telling Scott, getting all of her affairs in order, and then begging Scott's ex-girlfriend, Lucy Coe, who ended up being one of her best friends, to have their baby. And that's where we're at. She's terminally ill in the hospital, not allowed to go home. And they're waiting to see if the IVF took place for Lucy, and whether or not they're going to be able to have a baby. So, yeah, that one's really sad, and it's really hard to watch. And she was so young, and I'm trying to decide, and I don't think I'm going to, because it's so much more fun for you guys who haven't seen anything yet not to know the future. If I can get you into a place where you're listening to these to keep up and interested in hearing about it, I don't want to spoil it with the future. And if you guys want that to be different, please leave it in the comments, because this is new for me. What I basically like to turn this into is, instead of watching it daily now, what's new this second, I want to kind of pretend like this is new, even though it's not, that it aired 30 years ago, because for some of you it will be new. I know for me, when I started, the second storyline I ever watched was Robin and Stone from 1993 to 1995. So we're headed into that. And I have to say, one of my all-time favorite storylines ever to exist on soap operas. I mean, incredible. So I will have a lot of fun when that happens. That being said, I don't want to spoil anything that happens later, because I happen to know it. I want it to organically come out as we go. And I think in the end, most of you will be happier with that outcome, and I could be wrong. So like I said, please leave it in the comments. But yeah, this is what I plan on doing, like a week in review type of thing. Also, I have some big edits that are about to come out, and so I may do videos about that as well. I have summer break coming up for college, and I'm not taking any classes during that time. It's like a 2-month period. So I plan on doing a lot of these types of videos then, and what I might do, because I watched like a month in the span of a couple of days of General Hospital. And so I might just film back to back to back to back and post them once a week so that I have like a backlog of episodes to give you guys for a while, because I'm right now I'm part-time in college and I'm already struggling to keep up with this stuff. I'm about to be full-time in college starting next semester. So there's going to be even less time. Now that I'm used to it, though, I think I'll have a better chance of balancing the two. This is just like my very first attempt at something, so please tell me if you don't like something. Please tell me if you have any advice. I'm filming on my iPad at the moment. It's an iPad Air from last year's iPad Air 13-inch. I'm planning on continuing to film on that. I also have a MacBook, which I'll attempt to show in my next video. I gotta figure out where to put the camera and everything so you can see it, because I'd like to do something where I show all of you what I do for editing purposes. I think that would be a fun little behind the scenes for those of you who follow what I do. So I've rebranded this channel a couple of times. I've rambled on about my plans for it a couple of times, but I think I finally found like what I want to do. And between the weekly updates and the edit ones, whenever I get a chance, because the edit ones take longer because it happens over periods of years instead of weeks, and I will have to edit them more often than I'll have to edit these. So this is just my goal, this is my plan, and I'm sticking to it for now. So I hope you guys will stick along with me for the ride. There will be weeks where I'll do Days of Our Lives, Week in Review, One Life to Live, maybe. That one I know less about, and I spend less time watching. I have my favorite characters. I'll do edits for people. I like it, don't get me wrong. But personal time-wise, to like wind down at night, it's usually going to be either Days or GH, unless there's a request or I seem to feel the need to watch it for some reason. And that might change over the time. But right now, that's where I'm at, and that's what I'm sticking to. Quick update. If you guys have made it this far, thank you very much. New edits I have available to purchase. I have done John and Isabella, Days of Our Lives for 1990 and 1989. Sorry, I said that out of order. 89 and 90. I have done Roman and Diana, which was, if you know who Laura is on General Hospital, Jeannie Francis is the actress that plays her, went over to Days of Our Lives for a short time and dated Drake Hogestyn's Roman when they were on together. So that's them. And I will be adding to both of those series as soon as I possibly can. I have finished John and Natalie 2003. I'm about to finish John and Natalie 2004 as we speak. I have like another whole edit to go. That's it. And I'm working on Emily from GH. I've done 1996 and 1997 is finished. 1998 is my next edit that I'm getting ready to do after John and Natalie for 2004. Once I finish 1998, I'll do 99 and 2000 real quick. And then after that, I'll jump from 2000 to 2003, and it'll be a different Emily. It'll be Natalia Livingston. I'm really excited for that because they are one of my favorite couples. So stay tuned for that. I also have some Luke and Laura plans in the works for those of you who love Luke and Laura. I'm gonna do the 90s first because the 90s are my complete years of the show. So I'm going to start in like 93 and work my way through, and then potentially go back and do early 80s when they were on it before, because I think that would be a lot of fun, and I eventually hope to have their entire collection. So those are my plans for editing purposes right now, but as far as this channel goes, what to expect in sort of like a summarization to the last half an hour. Weekend reviews, probably called Soaps and Seven Brew, and then I'll give the soap that it's about and the dates that it covers. I will make a playlist that's only for Soaps and Seven Brew, and I will make sure to always label the videos with the show. So if one of you only watch Days, or only watch GH, or only watch One Life to Live, then you can pick and choose what you watch. So yeah, that's the plan. And I was doing another channel. If you followed me on both, that channel has since been deleted. YouTube messed with my account. It's a whole long story. And now it's gone. Everything's gone. I had no time to warn anybody, so I had like 15 subscribers there. If it was any of you, I very much appreciate that. And I'd like to start that one again, because that was more of a personal... I'm in a wheelchair. I used a wheelchair. I have cerebral palsy. And that channel was talking about life with cerebral palsy, and what that looks like for people, and all that. What it looked like for me in particular. And all of my videos got taken down. So that was because somehow my account got flagged when I signed in to a different device, and I could no longer watch any sort of videos on my account, and they couldn't help me, so I had to... I looked up something on how to fix the issue, and when I did it, all my videos got deleted. So, I don't have them because I didn't have them saved anywhere else. So I'm thinking about... I don't know whether or not I will make a separate channel, and if I do that, then none of this part will matter to any of you. But if not, and I do decide to continue that thing, the idea of that, I might just make a playlist that's separate on this channel that has that, and if you guys would like to watch it, you're more than welcome, and if not, feel free to skip it. I mean, it's a niche topic. Not everyone wants to, wants to watch that, and that's fine. It's mostly just me ranting about life, so, hey, if you guys are interested in that, come join me. If not, no worries. And like I said, I'm not 100% sure I'll even do that, so. Anyway, I think that's enough for tonight, and if you guys are still watching it 34 minutes in, I love you, and I appreciate you, and I'm so excited for this journey. I'm thinking about, today's Friday. It's Friday the 18th. Easter is Sunday. And I have some homework this weekend. Anyway, I'm thinking out loud, but my plan is, get this video posted as soon as possible. And potentially, while I'm doing homework tomorrow, or finishing this edit that I'm working on, I might watch some Days of Our Lives from like 1984 and do a week in review of that week in 1984, potentially January, and post that, because I've been really in the mood to watch like classic 84 for Days, and I think that would be a lot of fun to start from the beginning and work my way through all the way to current. Obviously, that would be quite a take-on project. to watch with all of you, but I think it would be a lot of fun. And you'll notice as I speak, if I can, and I won't get copyrighted and all the music and stuff, I may or may not include like a little tiny section of a little tiny scene that I'm currently speaking about. I did that with my Marcus Hunter one that's posted on this channel from about a year ago. My favorite video I've ever done, and that's kind of the vibe I'm going for these weekend review things as well. I think it would be a lot of fun. So, if you're interested, please tag along. DH and GH are the main focus. GH will be 93 on, DH will probably be 84 on, so it's not going to be the same time periods, but for those of you who want it, it'll be a lot of fun. So, alright you guys, well, thank you so much, my Soap Obsessed fans, for sticking with me, and I will be back very soon, I promise.